What's good, everybody? Watching MMA, and specifically the UFC, is for most of us way more than just watching a sport, right? There's fighters that we hate with all of our fucking soul, all of our guts, and we want to see them get slammed out violently. And on the flip side, there's fighters that we love more than our own mothers. Yes, we love them more than our own mothers, alright? The people you admire say a lot about you. So today, we're going to be going over what your favorite UFC fighter says about you. Let's get right into it with the first fighter, Islam Makhachev. Now, if you're a content creator here on YouTube and you talk about the UFC, you're going to come across Islam Makhachev fans, Khabib fans, even Khamzat Chimaev fans. These guys are all kind of all in one boat, and you're going to get death threats from these guys, alright? First thing Islam Makhachev fans are max level LARPing. If you guys don't know, LARPing is live action role playing. These guys are not Russian. These guys don't fucking do martial arts. These guys probably aren't even Muslim. Most of the guys that are Islam Makhachev fans, you see the Khabib profile picture, the white tap go sleep profile picture, the 2-3 years Dagestan and forget profile picture. They'll be fucking, you check their account based in fucking Pakistan, alright? Account based in India, account based in Bangladesh. Like, these guys are not Russian. These guys aren't even Muslim. You check their family roots, these guys are fucking Buddhist or something. Max level LARPers, these guys are not from this region. You are not Dagestanis, bruh. Take off the Khabib picture, take off the Islam profile picture, go get a job, alright? Next, they're huge casuals, and this kind of comes with the LARPing situation. You've seen the edits on Instagram, alright? And, there's nothing wrong with seeing edits on Instagram. We all have 30 edits saved on our phone, right, from our favorite fighters. But they see the edits, they see the Khabib talking to their opponents, Khabib versus Conor. They see fucking, I don't know, Islam versus Poirier, Islam versus Dan Hooker. Like, they see the highlights of these fights, and they're like, yeah, man, these are my favorite fighters, and they actually don't even watch the sport. I'm convinced that 90% of the fans of the Dagestanis don't actually watch the sport. They'll watch maybe a main event, but even if the main event is like Islam or fucking Hamza, if their bedtime is 9 p.m., mommy says be in bed by 9, they're going to be in bed by 9. These are big casuals of sport. And lastly, this is going to be a trend for this video. You're never wrestled a day in your life, buddy. We're going to talk about, with a lot of these favorite fighters, one thing about their martial arts style. If you're a fan of the UFC, if you're a fan of MMA fighting, you've probably gotten into some sort of training yourself. But guys that are fans of Islam Makhachev, I promise you, like, if that's your favorite fighter, and you're a casual, you're a LARPer like I've been talking about, you've never wrestled a day in your life, buddy. You have no idea about anything of the sport, alright? Let's get on to the next fighter. Charles Oliveira. Charlie the Bronx, my boy. Now, we were a little bit negative, okay, with the Islam pick. We were a little bit negative, and now we're bringing it back. We're bringing it positive. You're a Charles Oliveira fan, you have no enemies. You have no enemies. You love everyone. You're friends with people. The people around you, they like you. They like being around you. You bring a good energy to every room you're in. You're all smiles. You're living in sunshines and rainbow land, all right? Especially now that Max Holloway got defeated by Charles Oliveira. Now that Charles Oliveira's on a little bit of a run, he beat Gamrot, he beat Max. These are two great wins to have on his resume. You have no enemies. You're all smiles. I have a couple of friends that actually really, really love Charles Oliveira. They even have them. Like, I knew a guy, if you know Big B, I'm not going to say his name, but, he had a girlfriend. And at the time where he was going out with his girlfriend, his lock screen was Charles Oliveira. You open his phone, and there was no girl in sight. It was just Charles Oliveira. Open his phone, another picture of Charles Oliveira, right? So if you're Charles Oliveira, you have no enemies. Another one, 100+ edits saved on your phone. And it's always going to be the same type of edits. It's going to be the highlights from the Justin Gaethje fight. It's going to be highlights from the Dustin Poirier fight. It's going to be highlights from the Michael Chandler fight, all right? That was the peak Charles Oliveira run. I think that was 2019, if I'm not wrong. And that was prime Charles. When he went on that run, he was on like a 9-fight win streak, got to the belt. It was absolute cinema. You're going to have like 100+ edits of this guy. You're like, with whatever song, you're going to have like salsa. You're going to have funk. It doesn't matter. 100+ edits saved on your phone of Charles Oliveira. And lastly, if you train, you've definitely jumped the ghillie as a white belt. Now, if you guys know anything about jiu-jitsu, jumping guard or like jumping the guillotine or jumping any sort of submission, whether that be like a flying armbar, flying triangle, you're not allowed to do that as a white belt, all right? They don't allow you to do that in tournaments, in training. They probably won't allow you to do that either. It's just because it's not safe at a white belt level. People don't know how to deal with that. You can get your spine broken. You can get your knees inverted. Like, that shit can be real bad. If you watch Charles Oliveira, you're definitely jumping the guillotine, bro. And I know this from experience. I've seen guys in the gym watch a Charlie edit, and immediately go and just try a flying triangle, alright? Let's get on to the next fighter. Israel Adesanya, a very polarizing figure in the UFC. He was a little bit more polarizing like maybe a couple years ago during like the whole Strickland thing. But now, you know, he's sort of beloved by the fan base in general. If he's your favorite fighter, number one, you started watching because of him. Because there's no way. If you got into the sport and Israel Adesanya is your favorite fighter, you for sure started watching because of him. Whether it be because of the anime edits that we're going to talk about in a second, that he has all over Instagram, his rivalries, maybe with Paulo Costa when they were having that build-up, maybe on his way up to the belt when he fought Whitaker, when he fought Kelvin Gastelum, maybe you became a fan in that moment. But if you started watching because of Izzy, like if he's your favorite fighter, you for sure started watching because of him, alright? Next, you're a big anime fan. This kind of, it goes without saying, if you love Israel Adesanya, you are kind of like objectively supposed to love anime at this point. His nickname, the Last Stylebender, is a reference to Avatar: The Last Airbender. This guy has the seal, the Uzumaki seal on his chest. Look, you guys can see on his belly button. You can see the tattoo. That's the same shit Naruto has, right? And even the shit he does in fights. He was standing the Gaara versus Rock Lee when he fought Anderson Silva. Like, he just has anime built into his persona, built into his character, built into just his being. I know this guy's just an anime fan, and if you're a fan of his, you for sure are also an anime fan, alright? And lastly, you had 3 or less friends in school. Now this kind of, it goes without saying. 3 friends is not that bad, bro. Like, you can have some quality, you know. Maybe you can have like 3 really good friends. If Izzy's your favorite fighter, you definitely had 3 or less friends, alright? They could be good friends, bad friends, whatever. 3 or less, and definitely no bitches. Especially if you started watching around middle school time, alright? Am I talking from experience? Maybe. We'll just have to see, alright? Next, Jiri Prochazka. Oh, every time I see this guy's face, it makes me want to cry because of his loss, man. How tragic is that from Jiri, man? Oh, fucking hell, sorry, guys. I don't want to talk about this. Like, just seeing his face is like seeing the face of my dead wife. You know what I mean? In those movies, you know, fucking John Wick 1, where the wife dies at the beginning. I feel like I'm rewatching old scenes of me being happy with my wife when I see Jiri. Whatever, alright? Homosexuality aside, Jiri Prochazka, if your favorite fighter in the UFC is Jiri, you have read The Art of War. Whether it's because you were interested in the actual, you know, the literature, whether it's because you're performative and you were performatively reading and it's like a macho male, alpha male book to read, whether it's because of Jiri Prochazka, right? You've read The Art of War, you've read maybe Miyamoto Musashi's 8 Rings, you know, that's the book that inspired Yuri's whole mantra. But you've read this book, all right? Be it for real or performatively, you have this at some point laying around in your house, all right? Next, and it's paper too, you don't have this in the ebook. Next, you're very gay with your friends. You're very homosexual with your homies. Now, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of bromance. I'm sure we all practice a little bit of bromance, you know. We've all, you know, shooken hands a little too long with our friends, maybe copped the feel, you know, whether it be some booty, you know, some titty, whatever. We've all copped the feel. We've all slept in the same bed as our friends, you know. We all kiss our homies goodnight. There's nothing wrong with that, but if Jiri Prochazka's your favorite fan, you know, you remember his quote, "I'm going to take some guys from my village to my hotel, and they're going to see something," right? You know his quote. You are very gay with your friends. And lastly, if you train, you constantly get chinned in sparring. At least one time, you know, if you do hard sparring on Fridays at your gym, at least one time a week, you're getting chinned, all right? Whether it be because you're trying to replicate the Jiri style, your hands all the way down, you know, your stance all bladed boxer-like, you're getting chinned, you're getting dropped with leg kicks, you're flopping around like a fish, and then you're getting up, you're like, "I have the warrior spirit," you know, like you're pounding your chest, be like, "Yeah, man, I have heart." You know, when people ask, this could be another thing I put here. When people ask you what your favorite, what your best trait is in fighting, like what are you good at? You're like, "Yeah, man, I have a big heart. Like I have a lot of will in my fights." You're not gonna talk about, "Oh yeah, you know, I slipped really good. I have real good defense. I have a nice jab." You're gonna be like, "I have heart," because that's really all you have, all right? Because you constantly get chinned in sparring. Next fighter, Ilia Topuria, all right? Now, this is actually probably the most informed pick I will make on this list because, as you guys know, I am a Spanish casual. I live here in Spain. I train in Spain. I'm constantly surrounded by people that got into this sport because of Ilia. People whose favorite fighter is Ilia Topuria. You know, real casuals, okay? So I know this is probably the best pick I can make. First thing about Ilia, you only watch main events. All right, maybe because of the time zone here in Spain, you know, the fights are on, like main event starts at like 6 a.m. So you only watch main events. You probably watch this shit like in playback. You know, you're never really watching these events live. If Ilia's your favorite fan, if Ilia's your favorite fighter, like you're just kind of a casual. This is not to copy off of the Hamzat Islam thing that I talked about before. But if you only watch, like if Ilia's your favorite fighter, you're really only watching main events. At this point in your UFC fan career, so to speak, in your timeline, you're not really interested in any of the prelims. Definitely not tuning into the early prelims. Definitely using the women's fights as bathroom breaks, which, you know, it happens, right? Next, you think that you have aura, all right? You walk around, you're like, yeah, man, I have aura. People feel my presence when I walk into the room. In reality, it is your body odor, all right? I'm sorry to be the one to have to break it to you. You don't have aura. You just smell. Please use deodorant, all right? And lastly, you threaten to slam out your friends constantly. For sure, if Ilia's your favorite fighter, you watched Ilia, you're like, bro, this is so cool. Like, fighting is great, which it is. Fighting is great, bro. I train. A lot of people that watch the UFC train. But you started watching, you went to 2 trial boxing classes, and now you're constantly threatening your friends. You're standing in front of them, huss, 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 huss. Like, just like shadow boxing in their face, and you're like, bro, if I wanted to, bro, I could just like Kimura you, rip your shoulders straight off, bro. And just imagine all this in Spanish. I'm not gonna talk in Spanish because I know my audience is all American, but just like, imagine Ilia Topuria fan, they're gonna threaten to slam you out. And you're like their best friend, you've known them since they were like 5 years old. You guys could have been babies together in the hospital. The diapers are gonna be like, bro, I could kill you in like 3 seconds. Like, bro, like realistically, you don't train, I could slam you out in 10 seconds, bro. Alright? So that's if Ilia's your favorite fighter. Next, Alex Pereira. Now this one, wow, who put this guy here, man? Who made this amazing list? Alex Pereira, extremely handsome. If Alex Pereira is your favorite fighter, you're just a good-looking bro. You mog, man. You walk into a room, you're handsome, and this is completely unbiased. All right, you guys know my favorite fighter is Alex, but I'm completely unbiased. I'm very capable of not being biased when it comes to Alex, and that's why I can say, if Alex is your favorite fighter, you're super handsome. You proudly dick ride. All right, people talk to you like, bro. And this is from my experience. They're like, yo, you genuinely want this man's kids. Like, what's going on? You're dick riding so hard. I'm like, yes. Of course I'm dick riding Alex Pereira. Bro, are you not dick riding Alex? Like, I'll make you, me and all the Alex fans will make you feel bad for not dick riding him. Because he deserves the dick riding, alright? Proudly dick riding. This video is a prime example, you know, of me citing my sources. If Alex Pereira is your favorite fighter, you are a proud dick rider, and you shadow box in random places. Be it the gym between sets, be it while your mom's cooking food, be it you walk into your sister's room, you start just piecing her up. Oh, mom, us. You just start shadow boxing with the worst possible form because you think you're Alex Pereira. Start shadow boxing, throwing hooks from the hip, just getting chinned, you know. Great. If Alex is your favorite fighter, you do all of these things, all right? And lastly, Jon fucking Jones. Johnny Bones Jones. I put this picture here. I could have found a higher res photo, but he does not deserve to be on my screen in HD, all right? If Jon Jones is your favorite fucking fighter, you're genuinely a terrible person. You deserve jail time. Because what about this man makes you a fan of him? He got no knockout power in his hands. This guy is has 2 robberies over Gustafsson in their first fight and fucking Reyes in their second fight. He beats his wife, probably beats his kids, probably has some rape allegations, right? He ruined Tom Aspinall's like early career. Bro, he spent like 2 years waiting for Jon Jones just for him to turn down the fight. They offered this man $30 million and he genuinely turned it down anyways. Like, you gotta be stupid. Jon Jones fucking went up to heavyweight only when Francis Ngannou was gone. Ducked Ngannou, right? Ducked fucking Tom. Went up, beat Cyril Gane in like a minute because he choked him out. Cyril Gane had no wrestling. And then beat 43-year-old Stipe or some shit. Bro, what the fuck are you doing? Like, fighting alone? Also, all those failed drug tests, bro. Tested positive against Cormier. Had to cancel an event. UFC 200 was supposed to have Jones and Cormier. Ended up being Cormier and Silva because of this fucking guy. He hit a pregnant lady with his fucking car. Like, I could just go on forever. If you like Jon Jones, like, outside of the octagon, especially outside of the octagon, bro, you're a terrible person, alright? You're probably the guy in class who's a devil's advocate. And like, actually, you know, they're talking about, in class, they'll be talking about, let me think, like, racism, alright? I know someone's called me racist in my chat before, in my comments, but if I was talking about racism, and they're like, yeah, I mean, we can all agree that judging someone on their skin color doesn't really make that much sense, right? You'll chime up, bro. Yes, you, the Jon Jones fan, will be like, actually, you know, there's some data that reveals that, 13% of the population, like, you're still talking about 13% causes, what was, like, 70% of the crimes. You're still talking about some bullshit that you saw on some red pill channel, alright? No one likes you, obviously. And lastly, you will throw oblique kicks and spinning elbows in sparring. You're a horrible sparring partner. You'll throw that shit, you'll, like, genuinely destroy the accountant that's 39 years old that's training to stay fit. You're gonna destroy his fucking ACL, and you'll be like, hey man, it's a fight, bro. Like, we're just fighting. And it'll be like your second class. You'll just oblique kick someone to destroy their knee, remove their ability to walk, and you'll justify, be like, man, it's fighting, bro. You do this in sparring, not even in a fight. Genuinely, bro, kill yourself, alright? I fucking hate you. Let's die, alright? Thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think about what your favorite fighter says about you? I'm gonna do a part 2. Let me know down below what fighters you want to see. And let me know some suggestions, man. Did I get it right? Are you smelly if you're an Ilia fan? Are you a casual if you're an Islam fan? Let me know down below. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna go fucking cough out some phlegm or some shit, alright? Ciao.